Are you equipped to lead? How will you transform your career? Regent Business School empowers you with the leadership and entrepreneurial skills to disrupt, rethink, innovate, and be the future. Visit regent.ac.za to register today.
A very good evening and warm welcome to Eswatini TV News at 8. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Linobuhle Masogwe, and signing with me tonight is Zama Nzimanze. Let's take a look at tonight's headlines.
Eswatini is currently busy with preparations to host this year's SACCO Summit. The Senate has adopted the Workmen's Compensation Amendment Bill of 2022. The Minister of ICT says government is doing all she can to ensure that communication in Eswatini is at par with countries in the first world.
Well, let's get into the news in detail. Eswatini is currently busy with preparations to host this year's SACCO Summit. The Minister of Finance, Norikenberg, says they will deliberate on many issues, including how member states can improve on trade issues.
Over the next week, we will be having all 4 different SACCO levels taking place in Eswatini, the main meetings around it. The first one is the finance committees that will be meeting. That is not chaired by Eswatini. That is chaired by the country that will be that'll be chairing SACCO next, which is Lesotho. So they're coming in and actually starting on Friday. They'll be in country and starting those meetings. The second levels is the level of the PSs, which the PSs of all the different countries get together. It's called Commission. That'll also be starting over the weekend. Those meetings will be taking place. We have got Council of Ministers, which is between the Ministers of Finance and the Ministers of Trade of all the SACCO member countries are getting together. Our meetings are starting on Tuesday next week. We then have Heads of State, which is referred to as a Summit, which will be taking place on Thursday. Heads of State of the SACCO member countries or representatives of theirs will be coming into Eswatini, and that'll be taking place on Thursday, the week coming. And so over the next week, with these meetings taking place, there's going to be a lot of activity, a lot of very exciting discussions taking place. As member countries, we are really looking at our strategic plan of how we can industrialize better, how we can take better advantage of Africa free trade area that's opening up soon, how we can better do our things across our borders, and then look at our resources that we have in countries and better leverage on our resources as member countries to be able to improve. So that's from the strategic plan point of view. At the same time, whatever issues we are having in the SACCO would also get to discussed, and that might mean trade issues and where are we battling, where are there issues that need discussions. Those will also be discussed and decided upon. And so we just want to announce to the country that this is now taking place, and we're very excited as a country to be hosting. So Eswatini is the host this year, and there'll be about 160 delegates altogether coming into the country to be part of these meetings.
The Senate has adopted the Workmen's Compensation Amendment Bill of 2022. The Minister of Labour and Social Security, Philip says this bill is key to the country's social security and the welfare of workers.
Seconded by Senator Prince Mshengo, chairperson of the Ministry of Labour's Portfolio Committee, Senator Winnie Nxumalo moved that the Honourable Senate debate and pass the committee's report on the Workmen's Compensation Amendment Bill of 2022, which will see members of the Umbutfo Eswatini Defence Force added to the list of compensated employees. Senators then debated the committee's report.
Kwathi ukuthi laba bantwana bemaswati akusiwe masotsha nje ladimele lapha eceleni noma lavela ezulwini. Ngiyakubuza ke lokho ukuthi ingabe ma labor issues angena phasa lo commissioner of compensation noma asataba na labor akasabathi asataba na commissioner wawo eceleni.
The expectation gap inkulu kakhulu. What the workers perceive to be emalungelo abo nasebalimele versus employer lakuchazelako le employee versus lo mthetho ukuthi uthini.
The Minister of Labour and Social Security, Philip Telezi, responded to the debate.
Ema-labor issues solo asele kuye Labour Commissioner ngoba le position yakhe ayikafi. Kuthi lathi nasele nabiswa leli tiko sekuthiwa i-Labour and Social Security kwakhiwa i-department yaka-Social Security la kusetshenzwa khona ama-compensations nje. Le inalo khona lo Commissioner for Compensations. Manje bekangekho la mthethweni kwekuthi sokusebenza ne-workers' compensation.
The Senate then constituted into the Committee of the Whole House and passed the Workmen's Compensation Amendment Bill of 2022. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkal Swekoza with Simova Shongwe, Parliament.
The Minister of ICT, Princess Khanyiso, says government is doing all she can to ensure that communication in Eswatini is at par with countries in the first world. The minister was represented by the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of ICT, Peshia Dube, during the launch of EPTC's new Wi-Fi broadband known as FTTX Internet. The launch was held at Mantenga Lodge in Eswatini.
The newly launched internet broadband infrastructure is a fast, secure and reliable internet. It is good for both home and business use. It is aimed at supporting economic activities and improving the quality of the internet. The Principal Secretary in the Ministry of ICT, who represented the minister, says such broadband infrastructure is in line with their first world status.
The introduction of optical fiber in the last mile avails to businesses and all customers the opportunity to transact at fast speeds via such infrastructure. We have also understood the importance of high-speed internet and connection to various applications. It empowers the population to improve efficiencies and productivity.
The Eswatini Post and Telecommunications Managing Director Temba Kumaro says copper wire theft has been a challenge, but with this fiber, it will be a thing of the past.
What EPC is building is part of a national infrastructure that supports Eswatini's economic activities. We must all, as a Eswatini, protect this national infrastructure. This will promote the country's initiative to attract new investments, thus increasing jobs, opportunities for our children and grandchildren. Our security as a nation is also dependent on a stable, secure environment. So a collective approach by all stakeholders is very important. Therefore, the broadband network is not just for EPTC, but it's for all Eswatini and the economy at large.
Customers who have already started using this internet do testify that it works proper.
What I see what you've done to this point, for me, fulfills and makes me very comfortable. We cannot do business without IT. It's one thing to have it, it's another to have it being reliable.
Lendana was buffering, but lena chasa sibonile ikahle ine speedness kahle uyakhona nje connecta nema gadgets niyakhona nofaka abe maningi ingabi nedinkinga.
Improving communications is part of the government development plan, as government has a mandate to ensure that everyone has access to the internet. Reporting Mkiani Msibi with Vuminkosi Nzinisa at Mantenga Lodge Ezulwini.
The Ministry of Housing and Urban Development says it is pleased with the construction of buildings within cities and in the outskirts of towns as that changes the face of the town and creates job opportunities. The minister said this during the site visit at Fairview on Wednesday, where a mall will be constructed.
The sword cutting symbolizes the commencement of the construction of the mall, which will change the face of the Manzini town. The mall will cost about 130 million Malangeni and will consist of various shops. It will come with job opportunities to many and improve the economic status of Manzini. The acting principal secretary in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, Makosi Simelane, says as a ministry, they are happy to see such municipalities developing and the construction of multi-million structures taking place.
Indlela ke kuthuthukaka kuba ngilokuthi kube netakhiwo letinsha letakhiwako sikhathi lesiningi siyathi ukuthi kuba ngamabhizinisi siyathi futhi ukuthi kuba tindzawo tekusebentela lokwenta ke lokho ukuthi avele emathuba emisebenzi.
Simelane says they support such development and have a task to ensure the growth and development of towns and nearby places. The Mazini Town Council CEO Lungile Dlamini says the town council has a mandate that every township must have a mall, recreation structures and a school. She says through a private-public partnership, they got a developer to initiate the construction of the mall.
Lesifuna kwendeke lana sifuna ukuthi bantu bangadzingi ukuthi takhamuti tase-Fairview nalabengcako la e-Fairview bangadzingi ukuthi baye edolobheni bayothenga tintfo labafuna kutitsenga ama-groceries, timphahla. So kutaba imoli nje velele phelele lenaleti letikhona nasedolobheni.
She says through a feasibility study, they saw the need to meet the needs of Fairview residents. I am Kiani Msibit Vumingosi Nzinisa at Fairview, Manzini.
The Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Economic Planning and Development, Tapsile Mlangeni, says community development is an important aspect of the country's socio-economic development. The PS was speaking during the launch of the 2023 Eswatini Bridge Program, which is implemented by micro-projects in partnership with Engineers in Action.
In 2017, the Engineers in Action Bridge Program was founded in the Kingdom of Eswatini in partnership with micro-projects, and since commencement, 15 foot bridges has been built throughout the kingdom. On Wednesday, the Minister of Economic Planning and Development welcomed new members of the EIA, where it was also the launch of the first suspension bridge to be built in Mangonggo Ingundla. The PS in the Ministry of Economic Planning, Tapsile Mlangeni, said such projects are key to the country's socio-economic development.
We talk of sustainable development. Sifuna indvo letawusala bakhona bantu ukuthi nakekelela bona noma lalabasita kubangasekho. We talk of inclusive development. Sifuna ukuthi kube telo sala ngaphandle makufutfuka lezi. Yingakho nje kusebenta kwethu kuhamba kufike nale makhaya.
Mangonggo Member of Parliament Wanboy Zikalala said this bridge will be of great assistance to the community. Eswatini Bridge Program Project Manager Brittany Magritte says EIA hopes to double its annual donation.
We hope to continue to increase the number each year so that by 2030 we're building 10 bridges annually in the country.
On another note, there are 6 ongoing projects that will be implemented by October 2023. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkal Suyokoza with Zimuva Shongwe, Matapa.
PEPFAR Ambassador Dr. John Kengasong says he is pleased with the efforts shown by Eswatini in the fight against HIV and AIDS, which is why they will continue funding HIV and AIDS programs in Eswatini. Dr. John is in the country on a Waking State visit.
The long-standing partnership between the United States government and the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini and our unwavering efforts to improve the health and lives of Eswatini is demonstrated by the 800 million investment we have made in Eswatini over the past 18 years. $800 million investment. That is a significant contribution to our partnership in supporting your efforts to fight HIV/AIDS. This year is PEPFAR's 20th anniversary, as I indicated earlier, and the theme of our year-long anniversary campaign is PEPFAR 20 years of global impact, and it truly has had a global impact. I'll share some global numbers with you, what PEPFAR has done. Over the last 20 years, we've invested more than $110 million in the fight against HIV/AIDS, mostly in African countries, and it has resulted in saving about 25 million lives and directly helped in preventing HIV/AIDS infection or transmission in about 5.5 million children who have been born free of HIV/AIDS. It has also had other unintended or other direct benefits, like strengthening overall health systems across the PEPFAR-supported countries, including here in Eswatini. Sustainability for the next phase of the response is vital, and it requires a multi-stakeholder and innovative approaches.
Global Water Project Gender Advisor Dr. Nawa Mwale says in the SADC region there is a gender mainstreaming gap in climate change issues. Dr. Mwale was speaking during the Gender Action Framework Stakeholder Consultation workshop hosted by the Ministry of Tourism.
The Ministry of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, in conjunction with the Ministry of Natural Resources and Energy, with the Global Water Partnership, hosted a Gender Action Framework Stakeholder Consultation meeting. Global Water Partnership Gender Advisor Dr. Nawa Mwale says SADC countries need to bridge the gender gap in the climate change issues.
If you look at the SADC region, for a long time, we've been looking forward to having the SADC Gender and Development Protocol being fully implemented and ensuring that we have gender parity in the governance and key decision-making positions. But what we are seeing is that along the way, we've not really achieved that fully. Ideally, we should have 50-50 representation of men and women in these positions, but we are lagging behind.
Eswatini Meteorological Service Director Duduzile Nhlengeto says climate change affects everyone.
Climate change affects all. However, the way different genders are affected and the way they need to respond sometimes differs, and therefore it is important that we take into consideration gender issues as we do this work. We are therefore coming up with a plan of what we can do as we undertake climate action to make sure that all genders have an influence on policy and are also be able to take the necessary action.
The meeting will be closing on Friday. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkal Suekoza with Simuva Shongwe, Eswatini.
All right, let's take a commercial break. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
Tasephalamende luhlelo lapho sikulethela khona tindzaba letenteka etindlini totimbili tasephalamende elive lokungindlaba esikhulu nayo indlu yetimphunga.
First fruits, Mr. Speaker, is a big commitment biblically. The first fruit, Mr. Speaker, inakufa Jesu. Nakavuka. He became the first fruits of a future bountiful harvest later of the Russians.
Sinemsebenzi ke noko, Mr. Speaker, koye ukuthi le maswati ezathola lamathuba emsebenzi kube ngemathuba latawenda bakhona kuphila, Mr. Speaker.
This can't happen. Not at Ngudleni. Let them see it. Ngudla Parliament can actually make things happen.
Khiphani timoto ninike bogogo kudla ningasolo nisigabisela ngokuba ngwaba nisigabisela izindaba banikeni kudla bafuna kudla kude kudla la kule budget lekhona le.
Engundleni were inundated by bantwana labase high school, labase secondary school. Bahleli ngaphandle abanamuntu lobafundisayo. Ngisho lithala lihlala, they can't go to class.
Uqala ibhizinisi, Mr. Speaker, akuqali ngemali. Uqala ngelicustom.
Induna yaka finance sibambisile siceda lo mnyaka nje Speaker. Tinkundla letintathu setiphelile letinsha. Lapha wekunene asisekele ngetimali khona.
I-RDF Speaker sikhwama lesi strategic event. Induna yaka finance ayikubone kungiko lokuthi lesikhwama lesi asimane siphakame la kulala la sime khona.
Thuku ngalonyaka nangu 128 million so ubuyuka works again. Namahenga langaka la solo akhiwa solo sangena. Athi sabe mangaki.
By far and large, the speech, your budget speech, has spoken to most of the things that His Majesty alluded to on the part. Le mande asala.
Even lele maswati yophela kokuthi thishela abe permanent post kepha yena abe temporary.
Konke lokhu nalokunye kuwo lo msakazo njalo ngalesithathu unayishayile insimbi yemfica ebusuku.
We at Eswatini Television Authority are committed to observing the Eswatini Communication Commission's Broadcasting Code of Conduct.
Under the code, we are committed to broadcast news that is current, free from hate speech, accurate, balanced, and fair.
From politics to business, health, agriculture, courts, and global news, we bring you the latest updates as they happen, when they happen.
We cover all the sporting codes from the football pitch to the chessboards.
This is Eswatini TV News.
There's no price like the ShopRite price, which means you'll get low prices on everything you need, like a tin of Sunny baked beans and tomato sauce for $8.99 and a bottle of Inkomazi for a low $34.99. The ShopRite price, the price you can trust always.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at the financial indicators. And now into your sports roundup, the chairman of the Shiselweni Regional Football Association, Begani Khumalo, has pleaded with the Shiselweni community and football teams to support newly promoted Nyanyali Celtics. Khumalo says they don't want to see the team come back anytime soon from the National First Division.
Nyanyali Celtic has gained promotion to the National First Division, where they will be representing the Shiselweni region. Over the past years, teams from Shiselweni have struggled to survive in the top divisions. Even in the past season, they saw 3 of their teams relegated back to regional football. The chairman of the Shiselweni Regional Football Association, Begani Khumalo, has pleaded for support for the team from the Shiselweni community and business community.
Sithi-ke lesinhlelo lesingaba nato nakhona sengathi esahlala phansi lovista abasitangane kepha nje-ke lokusebaleni lwati lolusuke luhambe phambili ebholeni lwati lelitabe seliniketa-ke ama-appropriate remedy kulesisho lesisuke sinayo lekufaka ekhathi ukuthi uthole abo-PRO labakahle kuthole ama-administrators labakahle lokutafaka nabo-coach bese-ke sekuwelele ebadlalini sithi awuthi-ke mhlawumbe-ke siyi-region-ke sifisele ukuthi onke ama-team lesinawo region ngaba kunabadlali ababuya ka-first division bakhona ukuthi babavumele bahambe baya kuNyanyali Celtic Football Club but okhona ku-reinforcer for the sustainability of le team ka-first division kuthi enyuka nalenye futhi season letako at least sibuyele to reclaim our position ka-first division.
The Eswatini Beach Games team that left for Tunisia has arrived safe. They are going to participate in the second edition of the Africa Beach Games. The nature of this game started in 2019 and this year has seen a great increase in participation where all 54 countries will be part of them as compared to the around 40 that participated in the first time. The local team is made up of tekball, swimming and athletics. The first team to compete will be the tekball team on Saturday. And the athletes are saying it is going to benefit them arriving early as they will have enough time to acclimatize. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports News, I am Patizo Msibi. Babane.
Well, that's how we reach the end of tonight's bulletin. But before we leave you, here is a reminder of the news making headlines tonight.
Eswatini is currently busy with preparations to host this year's SACO Summit. The Senate has adopted the Workmen's Compensation Amendment Bill of 2022. The Minister of ICT says government is doing all she can to ensure that communication in Eswatini is at par with countries in the first world.
All right, that's it from us. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned for the weather forecast from all of us here as the Eswatini TV News team. It's good night.
There's no price like the ShopRite price, which means you'll get low prices on everything you need, like a tin of Sunny baked beans and tomato sauce for $8.99 and a bottle of Inkomazi for a low $34.99. The ShopRite price, the price you can trust always.
At Spar, we've worked hard to get you low prices on great products every day. Like 900-gram Okoma wheat bakes for only $49.99 and Nestle Milo tin for just $54.99. It's low prices for you every day at Spar.
Today, you have a choice. How will you become future ready? Are you equipped to lead? How will you transform your career? Regent Business School empowers you with the leadership and entrepreneurial skills to disrupt, rethink, innovate, and be the future. Visit regent.ac.za to register today.
Eswatini biggest